This experience happened when I was 20 years old. I joined my first job to fit in better with the group. I actively participated in all the activities organized by the company. We joined a club. Here we could rent RVs, camping equipment, boats, fishing and surfing equipment. Among the activities they offer, there is a rafting day trip. Basically everyone in my company joined it. I was tempted to refuse because I can't swim, but my colleagues said it was very safe. Reluctantly, I bought a ticket as well. Our group tour was scheduled for June. The current was higher and faster than normal that year because the snow was melting in the mountains. In the morning, I set out in a single kayak. I felt that paddling seemed easy and not as dangerous as I thought it would be. At noon, we had lunch on the shore and took a break before continuing on to the more challenging sections. The guide led our group into the most dangerous part of the river, which was located between canyons and also had some large rocks in it. The guide gave us some tips and precautions. We set off. I was at the end of the line. I was very nervous to face such a challenge. I felt like I couldn't control my kayak. Soon I hit a boulder and rolled off the kayak into the cold water. Even though I was wearing a life jacket, the current was able to drown me. The shock of the cold water took my breath away and I began to lose my way. I could see the sky above me, but I couldn't reach the water. The current dragged me down and I felt I was going to die there. With my last strength I prayed, "God, please help me." Without oxygen, I grew weaker and eventually stopped struggling. I was limp in the cold water and I was in darkness before my eyes. Suddenly, my pain disappeared. It turned white around me and I was rushing through a tunnel. As the pain left me, I felt warmth and a sense of peace about my surroundings. Pure love entered me. As I left the tunnel, I realized that the upper part of my body was visible. And looking down, I couldn't see my legs. All I could see was what looked like a tail attached to my body, and the tail glowed white. I saw a room in front of me that seemed to be made of clouds, and the room didn't feel very solid. There were 3 people in the room, and they were like shining crystals. The light shone on them, forming a rainbow. One of them was much larger than the other 2, and I was scared of them, and they seemed to realize it. Instantly, they turned into angels. They didn't have wings like birds, and when they spoke, their messages were sent telepathically. They could read my thoughts. I looked into their eyes and love radiated from them, as if they knew me well and I did not feel uncomfortable. One of the angels said, "You have come too soon, you should not be here now. You must go back and finish your work on earth. Now that you are here, we will show you something." The angel took a very thick book, which did not contain words, but some pictures and videos. I saw scenes from my life, like watching a movie. They showed me a person I didn't know, I couldn't see her face clearly, and 2 very cute children. One of the angels said, "You have to go back, you have to live for them. You must go back into your body." Instantly, I was transported to another dimension. I could hear the most beautiful music. The breeze blew through the leaves. I could feel all the things around me. Animals and all kinds of plants. I became one with them. I look up and see a huge ball of light, he shines with the warmest light, God is touching my skin. He knows me, he loves me, no matter how bad my life was on earth. But here I am perfect. I feel no pain. The angel took me higher and I could see a huge waterfall that had no beginning or end. I could feel the loved ones who had died all around me. But I didn't see them. We walked through golden fields, and at the end of the fields there was a huge tree with golden leaves growing on it. When the breeze blew, the leaves fell from the branches and then turned into birds of all colors. Next to it was a lake. When I looked closer, I noticed that the lake water had a shine to it, like liquid mercury. When you look even closer, you can see people living on the earth. The angel said to me, "You cannot cross this barrier. It is time for you to return to earth. You have work to do." I felt very sad. I cried and begged him to let me stay. He said, "When the time comes, I will come and get you." With that, he sent me back into my body. All the water I had inhaled came out of my mouth and I finally got air. A lifeguard grabbed my life jacket. I almost yanked him out of the kayak. Together, the others pulled me aboard and back to Earth. I felt very confused, wondering why I stayed here and what my job was to stay. I now realize that I can help those who are lost through my experience. This should be considered one of the jobs God has given me.